What's up, YouTube? I just want to do a quick little video here on my way back to the oil fields. This video is more oriented towards the veterans. In one of my previous videos, I did kind of give some information about opportunities for veterans and things like that. So this one, I'm just going to go ahead and focus on the veteran. And if you're just kind of watching and you're not a veteran, I would still kind of listen to some of these opportunities for you as well. Again, a little bit about myself. I'm a veteran, served in the Marine Corps, got out, and just like a lot of us, didn't really have anything that I could transition to into the regular civilian world. I was a tanker, so obviously that transition was going to be a little bit more tough. That, and also just getting used to the regular life. So it took about 3 years for me to finally say that I need to get my CDL and go ahead and try to pursue that. One of the schools that I went to was offering oil field opportunities right out of the door, and the opportunities were pretty good. I was looking at basically all my options that there were. There's a lot of programs over the road that you can go into, and it's basically what they call a military apprenticeship program, which what they do is they give you extra money every month to go through their training program or their military apprenticeship. I think it's like anywhere from $1,100 to $1,200 extra a month, which is kind of nice, especially for a new driver, because over the road you're not going to be making a whole lot of money unless you find or get lucky and find a really nice company. But most of the major carriers, you're going to kind of start at the bottom and work your way up. And I know that there's even a lot of major carriers that you spend a lot of time and years and you still don't really get paid when you should be getting paid as a CDL truck driver. So that's kind of why the oil fields really caught my attention, because one, I know that they pay well, and it was pretty much in the realm of what I wanted to do. So I found a company that really worked well around my schedule, and that paid pretty good. So out here in the Permian Basin, I want to say the average, if you're just doing the company driver kind of thing, the average is about $1,200 a week. And then I've heard of people making anywhere from $1,800 to $2,000 a week, which is pretty good. I'm comfortable with where I'm at. So before I get into all that, I'll just kind of tell you how I got where I am now. So I decided to go ahead and use my GI Bill to pay for my schooling, and it was nice because, of course, most of the programs are 5 weeks, so you're going to get a BAH allowance, and with that money, it's just a nice little pocket money to have when you do come out to the oil fields. It's pretty expensive out here, so you definitely want to have just a little bit of money. You don't need a lot. You can get on the ramen diet, just kind of however your situation is. So I didn't exactly jump right out of school into the oil fields, because a couple of companies that I was looking at, one, the pay was just okay, and then another one, they didn't really want to deal with a brand new driver right out of CDL school. And, quite frankly, a lot of these companies don't want to deal with that, and it's mostly because of insurance purposes. A lot of these companies want 2 years experience. But again, you can get lucky. You can find companies that will hire you right out and train you. But you have to be the right candidate as well. So if you you really just need to familiarize yourself with the stick shift and backing. That's kind of one of the biggest things that they look at out here. So again, I found this company. One of my friends that I went to CDL school with had got here before me, and he's kind of sent a little text message out and said that there were positions open. So I packed up my bags. I called the manager, and the very next day I was at the yard getting ready to start my training. So the first 2 weeks, at least at my company, I went through the training. I did pretty decent, and then kind of got off on my own. And I mean, ever since, I really just kind of hit the ground running. I think with my military experience, it really helps me, I guess you can say, stand out above some of the other drivers that just kind of come out here and are just trying to collect a check. I like to hustle. I like to just keep moving. So it wasn't a problem for me to transition from training to being a driver out here, and then really just mastering most of the key components. I haven't mastered everything. There's still some things that I forget here and there, but it's not even really a big deal. I mean, personally, I think I'm pretty much ready to start training other drivers to do this, because it's really that easy. I will say this is probably the easiest job that I've ever had in my entire life, and like the amount of money that you get paid is just like blows my mind. But that's just how it is out here in the oil fields. So I'm hauling water. Again, it's super easy. It's just watching pressure and driving safely with that load of water on the back. So I would encourage you, if you definitely encourage veterans who are just coming out of the military, who don't necessarily know exactly what they want to do, and they just kind of want to burn time doing the school thing. I mean, I did that myself. I burnt a little bit of time going to school, but unless you have another job, that $1,200 you're gonna make going to school, you can make that in 1 week coming out here to the oil field. So I mean, the decision's yours. To give you some time to really think about what you want to do. And not only that, the most important thing, I think, is it's going to help pad in your bank account. And if you're like me, you got out of the military with pretty much nothing, this is a great opportunity for you to just get your bank account right. I wouldn't encourage just going and buying a car, even though a lot of folks out here do it and they pay it off really quickly, but you just don't know exactly how long this oil field thing is going to last. I've done research on the oil fields. We're staying pretty steady. We're in a boom. The boom is still building. There's still a lot of work out here, that we're short-handed out here. So at least right now, it's going to be a great opportunity if you're a veteran to get out of the military and come out here. Now, again, you've got the GI Bill that you can use. One thing that I learned about Texas is that I don't know about any other states. I live in Texas, but I learned after I used my GI Bill that the Texas workforce will actually pay for you to get your CDL. So you don't have to use your GI Bill. They'll pay for you to get your CDL. And if I'm not mistaken, they'll even pay you every week, for food and whatever things you might need. And then you got that. There's other programs. There's other schools that you can just go to the school and they'll kind of front you a little loan and get your CDL that way. But I would definitely encourage you, if you, again, can't stress it enough, if you're a veteran and you're transitioning back into the civilian world, get your CDL. TRS, again, I was a Marine in 29 Palms. We had TRS out there, which is basically another type of schooling that you can use while you're in the military. It doesn't use your GI Bill at all. I don't know if it's called TRS. For some reason, I feel like that's the transition on the way out. But there's a program in the military that you can use to fund you to get your CDL, and you'll have your CDL right when you get out. And I would encourage you to get your tanker endorsement and your hazmat all paid for by the military. They'll pay for you to get your CDL. But I mean, right now the U.S. is very short on drivers, so there's a lot of programs out there that you basically can get your CDL for free. If you're not into driving, if you don't want to get your CDL, there's definitely a lot of other opportunities out here. I actually just ran into a Marine a few days ago who is a pumper, and basically what they do is they sit at the well site, they watch pressures, and they bring back up the oil in the waters, they separate it, and that's all he does. He sits there at the well site for 3 weeks and goes home for a week. 3 weeks on, 1 week home. And he's making 6 figures doing that. Easy. So there's definitely a lot of opportunities out here for you. Don't bother, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Would love to help you with any of the questions that you might have. I can also point you into the right direction towards other people who have a little bit more experience than I do, and they can help you with other questions that I might not be able to help you answer. So again, if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out, and well, let's get you out here.